Hello, and welcome to the Steve and Mark Discuss podcast. And so, as usual, over to Steve.
Hi, people. Well, today, what we're going to talk about, we've been in the news, sort of. Talking about our little adventure with
Yeah.
censorship.
Mm.
We've been sort of had our fingers knuckles wrapped by YouTube recently
Mm.
because of a subject that we covered um, about a politician in Italy, which indirectly involved a certain a certain vaccine, which shall remain nameless.
Mm.
And because we mentioned the name of the vaccine, I suppose, and the details of the trouble this politician's in, YouTube didn't really like it, and so they gave us a warning. They were nice about it. They didn't give us a. It was just a gentle bum tickle, if you like. It's just
Yeah,
a gentle notice saying you can't do that.
yeah.
So it wasn't just like a strike one. And of course, the second one was with Rumble, with as the Brazilian government is wanting Rumble to um, ban certain users who were giving discourse against the grain of the government of the federal government. Um, it was actually Rumble that took the initiative and said, right, we're just going to take Rumble away from the Brazilian market when it's done.
Mm.
Um, that Rumble said that it doesn't affect their bottom line. I'm sure that the Brazilian government are quite happy, even though it'll affect a lot more than the people speaking against the grain
Mm.
of the government. But at least the government has got what it wants. It's just one platform less to worry about, I suppose. But of course, as ever, um, our role as a mere mortal, as one of the millions, the population, is to find a solution to the problem. That's what we do.
Mm.
And of course, for the Rumble problem, the solution, the simplest solution, was to get a VPN, which allows you to trick your internet connection into thinking that you're somewhere other than where you are.
Mm.
So when I use my VPN, it thinks I'm in Holland somewhere. The internet thinks I'm in Holland, and I can have access to Rumble.
Mm.
Of course, many people don't have this idea of what a VPN is. Is it safe? Is it legal? Perfectly legal in
Mm.
Brazil. There's no law against it in Brazil. And the VPN that I use is called Proton VPN. I believe you do too.
Yeah, yeah.
So um, of the videos I've seen, of the podcasts I've seen about this position uh, by Rumble, none of them suggested uh, using a VPN. Only comments
Mm.
by the people, the public, um,
Mm.
watching their podcasts. If you like.
Mm.
What Rumble said is it doesn't alter their bottom line,
No.
which means either they've been breaking even in Brazil, or slightly working at a slight loss,
Mm.
or a slight profit,
Yeah.
but nothing to write home about. And I don't think they're going to be really forcing the situation by going to justice too soon.
Mm.
I think they're just going to let it take its course.
Mm.
See if public opinion in Brazil can sway the government to ask Rumble to come back, which I doubt very much.
No.
But, there you go.
Well, yeah.
Over to you, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's thing. I mean, when we talk about Rumble, they're not a small concern. They're $1.5 billion business. Yeah, I mean, there was some interesting Brazilian content on there. So I kind of missed it a bit because I was practicing my Portuguese, listening to some things on there, an alternative to YouTube. I think, yeah, this is a problem that we're having. I mean, I believe that Rumble had already pulled out of France as well, the same issue that the French authorities wanted to do it. They're based in Canada, which is interesting, given that the Canadians are just passing all sorts of interesting laws with regards to protection of the truth, as seen. Let's put it that way. Admittedly, Brazil does have a department I've never really known too much about, which I think is quite new, is protection of democracy or something like this. Yeah. So yeah, these places are trying to protect. Yeah, these countries are trying to protect their truths. Yeah, okay. We can start talking about false narratives, false fake news. You and myself, we're of a certain age that we've seen a lot of things. We're experienced in life that we look at something and think that's a load of nonsense. It could even be a politician or something that some person we normally agree with. We think you're wrong. Yeah. We have the experience to do that. We can disagree with each other on quite a lot. But yes, we do it politely on podcasts and not so politely online sometimes. Yeah. Not so politely. Yeah. We have a bit of fun with it, but it is it's part of the human spirit to say things, to disagree, to educate. There have been times when, don't hold me on what I believed 10 years ago, because I've matured. Maturing is part of understanding. Well, if we're not doing that, if we're just going with one form of information all the time, then we're not going to grow as a society. We have to have discourse, as I always say. Someone online should be allowed to be as obnoxious as anything there. I like that because I can see they're there. Yeah. They're not underground.
Not that we are.
No. I don't think we're obnoxious. Not yet.
No, to be quite honest, I don't even think we're politically slanted one way or the other. The what we talk about online, normally we get 2 or 3 sources of the same story.
Yeah.
Find the middle ground, and if we do make an opinion, which I have this tendency to do, it's based on the information that I've received, normally through the press, through like Reuters and
you form an opinion.
France press.
Yeah, I mean, as forming an opinion is having a discourse.
Yeah,
I disagree with you. I sometimes do not push back. I hate this term, push back and destroy and everything else. These are not good terms. They're not healthy. No. To have a discussion, to have a debate is healthy. Sometimes I might find I'm wrong. You've gone quiet sometimes when I said something and gone, yeah, that's the point. But we've had different experiences in life. And and this is what the internet is. I mean, there's 2 ways you can look at it. The internet is a good for common man and allows us more access to things and information and experiences we've never had before, or it's a force for evil and bad. I've seen some things on there which, I think, well, I don't think that should really be on the internet or anywhere. But hey, I want my opinion. Somebody can have their opinion. I can choose not to watch something. And that was always my argument with TV, with anything. I can choose not to watch something. I have the ultimate freedom to turn something off as a personal choice. when we talk about fake news and manipulation and all that, that is as old as democracy itself. The Greeks had it. The Romans certainly had it. Senators used things to their advantage. Nothing's really changed. What we've probably got now is the ability possibly to program more and more people one way or another. Given that people's attention spans have gone. In that somebody will watch a 30-second video and think they've got all the information they need about a subject they might be interested in. Whereas the reality is a soundbite doesn't give you the full story. Yeah.
That's right.
I've had
taken out of context.
Yeah. I've had someone say to me, "Why aren't you worried about being taken out of context?" I said, "No, because I keep all the original footage. If somebody wants to challenge me, this is what was said around that." This term self-censorship and the fact we're having to use alternative language so we don't get picked up by a computer algorithm that has no emotion, no real understanding of human context. Yeah. Which is what we did actually get caught with, no doubt about it. An algorithm that I objected to, I did a appeal against. Within seconds, it told me your appeal has been rejected. Hang on, hold on. I appealed. That has not been scrutinized by anyone. A human would take at least probably 10 minutes to do it. We wrote a letter. Yeah.
It's good to know that YouTube are so attent at the messages they get.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I mean, okay. They provide a free platform. It's their business. They did pull off our video. They told us immediately, okay, fair enough. They gave us an option. I had to do a little online test to prove that I was aware that I had a little bit of intelligence, be it a very interesting written coursework that was just almost what you would normally get in a business just to pass and tick a box. Let's be honest, it was box ticking. I let Steve have vision of what it is because we work as a partnership with this podcast. I probably do. I do all the online things. In fairness to Steve, he could do, but it's better if one of us does it. So yeah, so we work as a team with it. But yeah, it was just a little bit annoying, a bit of a badge of honor as well in certain ways. I told a few people I know about it, which actually produced their interest in the video to want to listen to it. So what did I do? I gave them a link to the alternative place we put it on, Rumble.
And a week later, Rumble was taken on.
Yeah. The universe is against me at that point. Yeah.
Doing a whole loop. That's what our role is as an individual, as a mere mortal.
Yeah.
Is to try and find solutions to the problems that the world throws at us.
Yeah. I mean,
instead of sitting down and weeping, we
yeah,
had to find out a solution. And of course, we did so.
I mean, admittedly, when it happened to us, we both had a bit of a chuckle about it and gone, "Oh, we've arrived. Something's noticed us." It is always going to be interesting. Censorship. I mean, I've never known censorship like we have now anywhere. I'll be quite honest. I grew up through many. I mean, I was born in 1970, so I've come through quite a few things. From what I can tell, though, oddly enough, there does seem to be more freedom in Brazil than there does in other countries. Just looking around, what's being pulled in the US occasionally, certainly in the UK, people that are being.
Yeah, but that's the West, sir.
Yeah.
Brazil is not the West. Brazil only follows the West.
Yeah.
Which is why they had this problem with Rumble, because the West is really heavy on this internet stuff, and Brazil is just starting to catch up. But that's the way it is.